the Yamcha Sessions.
And this podcast is brought to you by
Moorish nuts.
yes, the best wasabi nuts out there you could ever do.
The best nuts in the world. Suck on it. Whoa.
Suck on these.
Orange is onto us.
Moorish. I'm John. I do events. No, I don't like it. But I do YouTube channels as well.
That will segue very well to the topic.
Make decision below.
I'm Boygay, MC Black. I do MCing for a living. I love it. Link is in the description below.
I'm Andrew, I do e-commerce. There are good and bad days.
Link is down below.
I'm Ashwin, I'm a chemical engineer. No complaints.
Wow. Alright. So what are we talking about today, Drew? Kick it off.
So the topic is, what would you do if you could restart your career? Very, very open-ended. So now it is post-SPM. Remember the last day of SPM? You are now done. You are leaving school for the last time. How would you, with the knowledge that you have now, what would you do differently? John, why don't you kick us off?
Okay.
With the knowledge we have now.
Yeah. With the
Wow!
knowledge we have
Look at
now.
what I have now.
I got pretty.
Okay. So let me revalidate the question now. Okay, it's actually not like fair trade if you have the knowledge you have now. That's just not.
Yeah,
Like
cheating already.
Yeah, you'd be fucking eaten by. Let me just say first. Okay, so let's just say like, hypothetically speaking, you don't have the knowledge you have now, but you have to make a decision on what career you want to choose aside from the one that was already chosen by you now.
So wait, I have to make a different decision?
Yeah. Okay. I guess not.
No, not
I guess not
necessarily.
necessarily.
I think my situation is a bit odd. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
My situation was kind of odd. Like I was not a smart kid in SPM in the first place. I only scored 2 A's in SPM.
It's good enough.
That's tragic, man.
Right? Yeah. I only got 2
That's
A's.
honestly
Hey, considering the amount of effort you put in, I fucking saw you, man.
Right. You see how much I work, right?
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
100%. That's why.
How many you got to do?
5, 6.
6.
Damn, smart, nice motherfucker.
Yeah. You know how much I poured into my
You work really hard. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
right? And I'm a disciplined motherfucker, you know. Even with that, I still exercise every day, like 3 or 4 times a week.
Damn.
Yeah. But it's not within me to remember things. I mean, to remember and memorize. To me, it's always like understanding. If I understood the concept, I would apply it. And sometimes it's reverse, so I apply then I understood. But it's just that a lot of things in the education system, I did not understand. For example, why the fuck I didn't memorize 36 nilai from oral? I never understood why. Right? And because I never understood why you had to memorize word for word, never applied it. As an example.
I'm still grateful that he knows who is Sultan. Who is Johor? Sultan Johor.
Yeah, Abu Bakar. At the time, I don't even know who's Sultan now. Anyway, I'm sidetracking a lot, right? So when I graduated from Form 5, as you know, after receiving my results or even my trial results, which was also like 3 or 4 A's max, I was thinking like, what the fuck am I possibly good at? I was very confident in my English. That's it. Like, I knew I could speak, I could write, I could read very well. That's it. That's the extent of my capabilities, and I enjoyed
You
it.
went to Ogilvy first, right?
Yeah, my first job. So when I graduated, I thought the only thing I could do was like maybe draw, and I felt like everybody could speak well anyway. So what the fuck? I can't really differentiate myself with other people. So I thought maybe I could draw. So I decided to enroll myself in Lim Kok Wing.
Oh my god, you're right, you did that.
Yeah.
What, you did that?
Yeah, I enrolled myself in the Lim Kok Wing, and I thought I wanted to be a designer, or in multimedia, or in 3D design. And then after that, I was playing FIFA one day in this very room,
Oh shit.
and I was thinking to myself, do I really want to be like behind the desk designing all day long, late into the night, for someone that like is probably giving me a brief to design something I don't want to design?
Ah, you could think that far?
Yeah.
Well, props to you, man.
And I was like,
Yeah.
nah, I don't want to do that. So I legit went out of the room and I spoke to Dad, and I asked Dad, what do you think I should do?
Did you leave the FIFA one?
And I paused it.
Okay.
I paused it. And Dad said you should be in advertising because not a lot of people can convey an idea well enough sometimes. Sometimes even shit ideas go through, and I feel like if you have a good idea you can convey very well, you should be in that industry.
Oh, Dad gave you that advice?
Yeah.
Fuck, you didn't tell me that shit. Okay.
So
Damn.
immediately after that, I spoke to mom, and mom said it's about time you understood that sometimes some people can sell and some people can't sell. So I think the best place for you to study is in the US. And at the time, I actually really wanted to study in the UK because I felt like that it fit my rigid system of doing things. I used to be a very like mechanical person. I still am, as you all know, right? I like discipline. I like doing things a certain way and all that. So I thought the UK was perfect for me. And then in the end, I said, I'm just gonna go to the US because I think mom and dad brought up very important points, and I said, yeah, actually it fits my personality. And then I enrolled into ADP the very day itself. I decided.
Serious?
Yeah, drove to Subang, went to SS15, went to the office. I said, can I enroll into ADP? And she's like, we start like in 2 days.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, okay, let's go. So mom enrolled me, and then I just went to ADP. And I didn't even know what credits were. I didn't know what
Sure,
state
yeah.
I was going in. I didn't even know what mass communication meant.
Sure, I didn't know either.
Everybody just asked me like, oh, what do you major in? I said, advertising. And they're like, so mass comm, right? I'm like, the fuck does mass comm mean? Motherfucker. I googled mass comm, and then like, it gave me some other like weird shit like
Mass.
company name or called mass comm or what fuck off.
communism.
Yeah. Could be it though. And I actually went into that direction, and then I learned a lot about PR, about advertising, and about doing. And I realized that wow, fuck, this is really my industry, man. Because every time there was a presentation, they'll be like, John, go present. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I'll present. And I presented, I did very well. And there was a lot of times where the groups didn't do jack shit. Because as you know, people in college just get high and drink all the time, and they just don't turn up. And as you know me, I'm a very rigid person that likes to complete work. So a lot of times I just completed projects alone. I finished it by myself, had my own time. I loved it. And then after that, when I went into my first job, which I'm going back to the topic of, I was crushed up because that whole part of living your life and selling your idea. It was a fucking sham lah, because you don't sell your idea. Right? Realistically, as an exec, you just execute.
That's it.
You have no input. You have nothing lah, right? So I shit you not. I can still remember the day they told me to write a brief. So in advertising, you write a brief, and then you submit it to a creative person who writes the copywriting and the designer. And I was writing down like ideas for the copywriter. They said give him an idea as an example. Dude, I wrote the whole month, for like the ads, and I was like, fuck, I love writing ads, man. And it was for Johnny Walker. And I thought like I should have been a fucking creative person in advertising rather than the business side of advertising. And it was at that moment at 3 a.m. in the morning when I was writing that thing in the office. I packed up my bags and I left. And I quit the next day.
That's how you quit?
Yeah.
Oh, that's ballsy as fuck, man.
Yeah, I quit the next day and I didn't even know that I was going to writing after that.
Such and such.
Yeah. And I had to serve a month and I was smoking a cigarette in the fire exit, which is not the right thing to do, clearly, but we would still do it. So we smoked and I bumped into a creative director that was from Sachi and Sachi, and she said, you speak such good English and yet you are doing account servicing. I don't understand people like you. And I said, what does a copywriter do? And she said, you should be a digital copywriter, John. Because digital copywriters write short, sweet, succinct copy. And I think that's perfect for you.
Who's this person?
Her name is Sue Lee. And she was actually a very notorious writer at the time. So she said, I tell you what, if you write for my company, right, I will tell my old junior to hire you. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'll write it. So I wrote a whole About Us page for her, for a whole Facebook page. I wrote the whole thing, I was glad to do it. She even gave me a free t-shirt. And she was like, she picked up the phone, she was like, hey Pix, hire this guy. And Pix was like, we're not even hiring writers right now, we're only hiring senior writers. And then she said, just hire him please. So she put down the phone. Wow! And then she said, interview Pix tomorrow at 10 p.m. Dude, you know how late is 10 p.m?
That's late.
In mid-valley.
10 at night.
So I wore a suit, I went for the interview, and Pix looked at me and she's like, John,
The fuck?
I love the
Enthusiasm.
enthusiasm of being a writer, but writers here don't wear suits. You just wear t-shirts and jeans.
Don't blame you, bro.
Yeah,
It was a private man.
Yeah, and sometimes you can even wear shorts and slippers. I'm like, wow, fuck.
Wild.
Yeah, and that's how I became a writer. But in the end, I kind of went into events because it's more money. Writing doesn't pay much. But it does pay a lot when it comes to the side jobs.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
Okay, so if you could redo everything, what would you do differently?
you're saying I can't go back without my knowledge.
Say you can go back, lah.
With my knowledge?
Yeah, well, yeah. Not with your knowledge, but you can.
With your experience, but not your knowledge. So
okay.
you've gone through all this. You know what's gonna happen. You can go back, but you restart from that point.
based on my character and personality, I can tell you I will not change any way I've done it. Because first of all, I like knowing what happens and being able to prepare for that moment. To me, I know what I can do up to that without the lack of knowledge. So for example, if I knew in Ogilvy, for example, it's a cloudy image of me going through Ogilvy, I will go through Ogilvy. If it's a cloudy image of me saying that, I had to go smoke a cigarette and all that because of depression, and then like the writer will talk to me, I would have done it. So I would just have made the best situation of the inevitable situation. That is my answer. But if you're saying I go back with my knowledge and my experience, I actually still think I would have done the same. But I would have made things a lot better in dealing with things. Because I felt like every contact point at that time was actually I feel like this is an interview with me, so I feel like I'm talking too much, but I'm just gonna keep it short. But at that point in Saatchi, right, I realized that I had a lot of time on my hands. And with that time, I decided I wanted to do videos. Because that was my escape, right, in Ogilvy. I used to work like fucking late, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to that shit. I used to watch YouTube videos just because I needed to wait for my boss. All the fucking time. And I thought, what would be fucking great if I could write a script or I could do something that is my own creative element. And when I went to Saatchi and I had so much time, I'm like, fuck, I should start doing videos. Then I have a camera, I decided to pick up my phone. That's how I started my YouTube channel, man. And like, if I knew with my experience I would go back, I just probably would have been less awkward in my vlogs. That's the only difference maybe. And like, I would have saved up a little bit more for the London trip to Kapla. Because like that Man United game was really amazing. That was my last Alex Ferguson game. Cause I bought like a jersey. Like little things like that lah. I'm a very sentimental type person, right?
Okay, wait. Last question. While we're on this, advice to school leavers.
Advice.
Yeah, good point.
My advice is on a daily. A lot of times we get caught up in the job, and Kapla actually recommended me this podcast with Dan Carlin. And I've been hearing many things like this, like the past few years, where people says, "Oh, you should have a passion project and shit like that." And like, I think it's fucking important to have a passion project. Like, I can't even stress the importance of that shit. Like, if you have an hour a day to do something, there is a little bit of creativity in everybody. And if you you have to put effort into manifesting that form of creativity, whether it's writing, singing, like drawing a picture or sketching or some shit like that. If you pour in a bit of time and you make sure you have a creative deadline, and I can't stress this enough, right? A creative deadline is very important. Like for me, I set my amount to like 2 videos a week. I've been doing 2 videos a week for like 4 years now. Sometimes 3, sometimes 5, sometimes every day, right? At least it's more or less I try to meet that creative deadline. But you gotta set yourself that creative deadline, and like by doing that, it kind of evolves into something that really helps your career. I can't explain it. For example, right, the other day I was in United Nations at UNICEF. United Nations, right, it's like full of white people and full of Asian people that are like discussing important topics like how we should not have wars and how we should save children's lives and shit. And this lady who came up to me and said, "Oh, I think I've met you before." And I said, "Maybe we met at an event or something." Because I'm in my event mode, right? I go there with my business card and I hand it over to her. And she's like, no, dude, you're the fucking bubble tea guy, man. On YouTube. What the fuck? And I was like, holy shit.
She said fucking bubble.
Yeah, you're the fucking bubble tea guy, man. Holy crap.
That was with Albert.
Yeah, man. In the
Her name's
US.
Angie. Angie, if you're watching this, like, you made my day. And the other day I was in IKEA and this random guy was like, "Dude, I love your videos, man." Then I'm like,
I love you too.
I was like, "Dude, you got that selfie, bro." And things like that, it really like helps your career. And like I actually got jobs and work and business from all these random people I met. You never really know. Like Joe Rogan was saying how like he wanted to do a podcast, but he didn't even know what a podcast was at the time. There was no name for it, and he was doing stand-up comedy. So you can see like it's like, how does this even relate? And in the end, it's a podcast where he invites comedians because they're very depressed and they have a lot to say. And actually, it becomes a very good platform for him to push his comedy and everything. So my best advice, to go back to that, is to spend an X amount of time for a creative deadline that you should set for yourself. And don't set like unrealistic things like a daily or even a weekly. That was insane of me to think of that. I don't know why the fuck I did that, right? But you should set a creative deadline and pour your effort into doing something, because sometimes the job gets you all worked up and then you're like fucking stressed out and then you realize you didn't do anything. And I had moments where you wake up, you're like, what the fuck did I just do in the past year? I don't know whether you all have had that yet. I've had that like 4 times already. This year.
And you're 20 or this year.
Yeah, I'm 27. Like I didn't even know where the time went. I was 23 when I started doing videos. You know how crazy that is? And then like you get invited to do videos in Ipoh and shit. It's like, dude, I'm not qualified for this crap. I was recording with the iPhone 5, bro. And they hand you a Canon and you're like, dude, I don't know how to use this. So things kind of just move on. That's my advice, huh? Should we just move on to the next guy? That was like a solid 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That should be like interview with John.
Yeah.
We should just retitle it.
Brought to you by Maurice.
Brought to you by Morgan.
Brought to you by
Comment,
Maurice.
like, and
Four
subscribe.
parts, part 1, 2, 3, 4.
Maybe. Or it could be a 1 hour podcast. People are like, wow, these guys are bold.
Yeah.
These guys are
Brought to
bold.
you by Maurice, don't forget.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Hit us with the beats.
You'll probably be like fuck SPM altogether.
No, just start with your story because you know a lot of times people have that fog. You know, when you graduate, you're like, oh, what do I do? So what do you do?
Yeah. Talk about the fog.
When you finish SPM, what's the first thing you did, and how did it lead up to your course and all that?
After the SPM, I don't know what I did.
Yeah, same man.
Not more than a phone, it was a brick wall, man.
What the fuck? I remember, wait.
You can't even remember?
No, I couldn't. After SPM, because you need to wait for the result, what, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do anything because I failed my trial. Not because I'm stupid or what, because I had a broken arm. Alright, I couldn't write. So, if you can't write answers, you don't get A, like, you know? So I'm saying?
In all Poye's defense, he failed his BM. And in Malaysia, you gotta pass your BM to get qualified for college.
Oh yeah.
And the teacher didn't even give him an extra hour to write with his left hand. With his left arm. He broke his right arm. So he had to write with his left hand, right? Clearly, because you can't fucking move your right arm. She didn't give him the leeway. I was literally sitting next to him when that happened, and I was laughing. But I was trying to tell the teacher as well, right? Remember, I was trying to tell her, I said, Cikgu, this is what patah tangan Cikgu. But she refused to answer because she's a fat fuck and she's stupid. And
Fuck her!
These
Yeah.
teachers, no, the problem with teachers is they don't have like say or power, or at least they don't think they have say or power.
Correct.
They're always following this marking scheme or something like that, given by the government on how whether this answer should be right or wrong.
yeah.
Well,
And they're just like monotonous, like factory.
Machine
like,
so I failed.
Yeah,
So
so
I did nothing. Started to go to the gym.
Oh, sick. That was one.
Okay.
When his arm recovered.
Then I know myself. I think if anything, I won't change. I know myself in accounting, not because I love accounting. Because when I went to the open day, the fucking promoter there brainwashed me to enroll myself in accounting.
wow, that powerful.
Yes.
That's
There you
very
have it.
salesman.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was brainwashed. I was like some dumbass motherfucker. Don't even know what's sexy. When you say the word stupid, oh, it's a bad word, nigga. You know.
Now he's saying nigger after saying that.
Times
So
have changed.
I was brainwashed to go into accounting.
Mhm.
But in that account is where I found that I love to MC.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
In accounting, you found
Yeah,
the love.
if it's anything, it is this one guy who's called Bong Yang.
Okay.
Yeah. So I won't change that part, but I maybe will change the part where maybe I go and do degree or whatever, and I, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
So
the guy is called Bong Yang.
yeah. So I went to his accounts camp. So I'm a pretty friendly guy, I think so, and I'm very noisy and I talk a lot. I like to make jokes, lah. Okay.
Right.
So I went to the camp, we had a good times and shit. So this guy thought I could be an MC, so he asked me to be an MC for a prom night. It's a pretty big event, you know. So I was pussy and shit, lah. Okay. So we went for a road show Monday, Thursday. I sucked balls. Okay, I did bad as shit. I know. So I overheard. I have really good ears, so I overheard like one of the committee member, which I think was a pretty high pangkat, say that this MC sucks and shit like that. When it was my first time, so I was like, motherfucker, did this bitch just say I suck some shit? Of course, I was feeling down, you know. Then I just started to be myself. You know, like what you see me now, I just did that, and she loved it. And everybody had a good time, you know, when I'm saying. So then I was like, that's right. So and then I went to the actual day, called myself MC Black, so I'm a Tang Chung kid, and then MC'd my way there. Everybody fucking love it. The next day I walk in college, everybody's like, hey, this guy's MC Black, and that started my career.
God.
Yeah.
You know,
That's some story, man.
this is the personification of how like a lot of things you find true joy in, right? Is when you are yourself.
Yeah.
You know when you are truly yourself and you truly do something that you love, not your job. Your career and your job, right, is tend to like pay the bills. But when you do something you love, right, somehow it propels you, you know. And you feel like, wow, fuck, the accomplishment is like unlike any
amazing.
other. Yeah.
Like amazing. So I went. After that, I just emptied the whole event entire college. No challenge. Like kote. Until today, students in college are still calling me to go and MC for them. Don't know what the fuck is going on down there. Alright. So and then I won awards for the best.
What awards?
Award for best spokesperson in Asia. I think it was a few years ago. It was like an inter-college event. So people came. So I was spokesperson lah. I won easy. And
Wow. Easy.
then now I'm just working as MC. But if anything, I would change. Right, I probably don't go to degree because if I believe that, because once I did that, I just did that because I love it. I didn't thought about money or whatever. You know.
Okay.
So if I had that thought there,
You
maybe
start sooner. lah.
I would have started sooner. I would have had better development, and maybe I would be maybe more better in terms of being known in the public.
Perhaps. Like
If
your
I,
name, like,
yeah,
your
if I use that solid 2.5 years just to develop that.
Right.
If anything,
Yeah.
if it's anything, I will change that.
But you're doing masters now.
Now I'm doing masters. Yeah, probably wouldn't have done if I didn't go degree. Yeah.
Oh, exactly true.
So if anything, I answer to will be that day. I knew it is that day.
Is it?
Yeah.
That day you decided.
That where I decided to take degree, but I decided to change that and actually go towards building what I know. Of course, gotta take the risk lah. You know, I would do that.
What was that?
I would do that. Everything. I mean, of course, I will lose my current girlfriend. No,
Yeah,
don't worry. I'm pretty sure I will still
Besides
chase you.
that,
Pretty sure I will still chase you. So no worries.
Yeah.
But
Well, you got market again.
Does she even listen to this podcast?
she does.
She does.
Yeah.
Does she remember Lily?
But she don't know anything. Anyways, but I guess I will change that.
Okay.
I'm stressed for you.
Please do that. I guess that would be what I would do. Yep.
Huh.
Actually,
Hands down.
I just want to
Chime in.
go back to what John said about being yourself. I mean, we're talking to 16-year-olds.
No, you got, dude. Like that's the primary thing, though.
Yes, but it's not as easy as just be yourself. You know, it's that be yourself kind of thing is kind of a buzzword. It's not to be
Some
taken
people-
lightly. It's not to be taken lightly. Being yourself, finding who you are itself is a huge task. In
Oh,
itself.
for sure.
So I just wanna. It's not easy, but that's the direction you should take.
I would say so. So, because I was in the Manta College, it's a Chinese-based college here. I'm an Indian, I speak Chinese at the time. It was pretty difficult to blend in, you know. But I beat myself. So I'm an all-rounder. I can adapt to people and situation, you know. So I survived that nicely, you know. I think in terms of being yourself, some people are just socially awkward, you know. So you can't be yourself at times.
Yeah, that's where I was going with this. It's like some people know who like you. It's probably easier for you, like you know that you're outgoing and everything like that. But for some of us, it's
Just
like
cannot, you know.
it takes some more effort to find
It does.
what yourself
It does.
means. You know.
It does. See that one person is Bong Yang. Yeah.
Okay.
He's the one who gave me that confidence to say like I can do that. And once I did, then I knew that I could.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a trigger, lah.
yeah, it was a trigger. There
Someone
will be
saw
a
it in
trigger.
you lah. Someone saw it
Someone
for
saw.
you.
I didn't know jack shit, bro.
Which is super fortunate, lah. You know,
I was
if you-
very fortunate.
Like we are talking now from a place of like more maturity and more hindsight, right?
In
So it's
hindsight,
so easy for us to look back and say, oh, that's
Or just be
yeah,
yourself.
just do that,
But-
right? Yeah.
But you don't even know what's to come, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the direction to take. Yeah. That's just what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What about you, Drew?
I don't know. Like I feel during my high school days, I was just this robot, kind of just doing things because they were the way they were. I didn't question anything, right? Like SPM is just like UPSR was just there, PMR was just there, SPM was just there. So you just focus on that, and you don't really know why you're doing what you're doing. You just do the what, not the why.
Yeah.
So after SPM was done, that was fine. I didn't know what I wanted to do with life. I think I had this conversation with you, mom and dad.
Yeah,
all the
man.
time, right? Like, what am I gonna do, right? So I majored in PR. I don't know why. To be honest with you, I still failed to question why. I matured very late. Yeah.
It's true.
I think I will throw later than you.
Physically, maybe.
Keep going. Makes sense. Physically.
But Andrew was a chill like anything.
I matured very, very late.
No, he said
Yeah.
everything is okay.
Yeah, I was really like just too chill with life. So I majored in PR. I don't know why. So I did that for like my entire 2 years in Taylor's.
Actually, I know why you majored PR, but you
Why?
can continue.
Just tell me why. I don't even
Why?
know.
Because I convinced you to do PR.
Oh,
So
well, there you go.
Yeah. Because I said I'm doing advertising, you're doing PR, so one day we'll take over mom's company and then we can
Ah.
finally own the shit.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably a conversation we had in the car or something. I'm doing
No, I remember where also.
Where?
It was in the, you know where dad does his finance, the treadmill?
Sure.
That was there. Because last time TV was there,
Oh, cool.
In this house.
in this house.
Yeah. So that happened. Majored in that anyway, for like 2 years. Like after my time at Taylor's, intern at a PR company that my mom hooked us up with, or hooked me up with,
Ming-
when I say, Ming Cage and Associates. Fucking hated that job. That's
Really?
Yeah, I fucking hated it. It was so boring. It was so bad, literally. You literally just like count the pages in the magazine. That's literally like what you would do.
Yo, that's intern's job, man.
Yeah, I was
He
an
was
intern.
intern.
I was an intern. I was
Oh,
a PR intern.
shit.
Yeah, it was really, really boring, and so I was like, I'm never gonna do this. I'm deep down, I'm a very like envious person. So I compare myself. I compare myself to a lot of people all the time, and it's like all aspects of life, right?
Oh,
it's
dude,
not
this is so
just
sad.
it's not just like intellectually. It's
Yeah, I
not
wouldn't
just
have guessed
by
that.
I wouldn't
appearance.
have guessed
It's not
that.
just like it's everything. I'm very, very envious as deep down, and so I was when I went to New York, and I don't know why I went. To be honest with you, probably because John went.
John.
I mean, to some extent lah. I think I just wanted to
Be like John.
explore and find myself a bit more.
No, oh my god, Drew, I know why you wanted to go to New York. Drew.
Why?
It's because you wanted to be as far away from California as possible, Drew.
No lah. Okay. I think like I didn't want to go to California because you were there.
Andrew,
But
far from home.
I know I wanted to work and study at the same time.
Oh.
That was the real reason why I went. I wanted like an urban setting lah. Okay, because I wanted to find myself. I didn't know what I was doing.
Fair.
So I did that. So basically, I'm in New York and I don't know. I haven't done shit in my life.
So you found yourself in
Yes. I found myself
Alright,
there.
Okay, so
So I was again. I'm very envious. So I compared myself to a lot of successful people, a lot of
Right.
smart peers.
Right.
You know, people looked highly on students who studied like business or like anything data related, anything of that nature, computer science and whatnot. So I thought, oh hey, that sounds fucking fucking good. Like I can validate myself that way, right? If I study something along
It's
those lines.
also on top of the mass comm is very frowned upon.
Yeah, exactly. So communication as a whole is like so frowned upon.
Liberal
like,
arts.
Yeah, like why are you like you're so fucking you're literally less than if you majored in that.
Yeah.
And so, being the envious person that I am, I was like, oh my god, I feel like people don't respect me enough, and so I'm just gonna do what
Makes you happy.
Yeah, what will validate my feelings lah, right? So I majored in commerce. I did that. People started to look at me a little bit better, I suppose. So yeah.
Oh, dude, I didn't know you were envious of people. man.
E-commerce.
You know, just like-
So are you what of John you are envious of?
there are lots of things.
What?
Yeah, but I mean, like that's
Ideal.
the case for a lot of people, like that I'm particularly close to, because I see
The success.
yeah, right, always the limelight.
Oh, so you
It's
envious of
always
the
a
So
success.
you will only see the success.
Yeah, of course.
Mm.
Yeah, and I'm envious of a lot of people. Like, don't get me wrong. It's like literally like 95% of people I know. There's something to be envious about.
But it's good. You know why? There's drive.
Then you
That's
will.
right.
It really depends on how you channel that, how you interpret
Oh, that's
that,
true.
how you
Right.
internalize
You
it.
can be depressed.
This is
Yeah.
not going on, right?
No.
Okay.
But it's recording lah.
Oh, sure.
So I'll know when to cut. Like, but what were we talking about? So I can clap.
Let me think. Well,
We're talking
I don't
about-
know. So I'm basically in New York, and I'm majoring in commerce now. So I changed my major. Shit ton of credits.
Okay, so then you say that.
What?
Say that again.
Yeah. Oh, so I'm majoring in commerce, and I'm in New York. I changed my major, so there's a lot of credits to catch up on.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So I decided to like plan out all of my shit, right? Like all the different classes I have to take.
Do summer.
Yeah, do summer and like just make sure everything's done. I miscalculated, but in the wrong direction, so I finished early.
Wow.
I guess so.
Yeah. So that happened. The people I was speaking to as well, they were very, very just like smart and structured people, right? They had their shit together and they sort of just guided me to be more like them. You just become more like people you hang out with the most. that's just the nature of things, right?
Yeah.
So I became more like them, and more logical, more structured in general. Took a real interest in philosophy, which is like a huge thing. Fucking love philosophy. Changed my entire life. Everybody should take philosophy. That's my life advice.
I'm terrible at philosophy.
Yeah, so that happened. I worked in like several startups as I was studying. So like 3 of them during my uni days. After I graduated, struggled to find a job, started smoking. I was unemployed for like 3 months. That was a dark time.
Dark time.
Yeah,
I went through that
that
time
was
as well.
very, very challenging. Like emotionally, like your self-esteem is fucked.
It's envy, bro.
It's envy. It really, that one, that's just bad channeling, right? So that was a very dark time. I happened to speak to the right person at the right time. Got a good job. But yeah, so like that's my time here. I came here, still stuck with e-commerce, still doing my own thing a lot. I think overall, like if I could change something, I would definitely study computer science.
Really?
Yeah,
Damn.
I would definitely study computer science. It has that structure that if I did it early on when I was like 18, I would have matured that much faster. I would have gotten that structure at 18 and not when I went to New York. And yeah, like being that envious person that I am, right? I would get that validation that I'm looking for, probably subconsciously. So yeah, that's what I would change. But yeah, life advice: just read a philosophy book. I'm fucking serious.
Doesn't work for everyone.
It's
No,
not.
it doesn't. It works mostly for introverts, I would say.
Is
But
it?
Yes.
It's like, but
More because introverts read more in general. You guys find your pathways through mentorship more.
Oh.
Give me an example of philosophy.
Allegory
Nietzsche?
of the cave.
What?
Allegory of the cave.
What? So bagai udang sebelah batu, is that part of it?
no. So like,
Nietzsche, you can say Seneca.
I mean,
Those are really good ones.
it's just like there are different segments to it, but one of them is finding out what you are.
That's a huge
The
part.
only philosophy I know is with great power come great responsibility.
That's
That's
not
not philosophy.
I feel
that
like-
can be considered as
That's my life.
Some people think like they are this, like there's a soul and I am that soul. This is just a vessel, right? Some people think I am my body. Some people think I'm my brain. Some people think like different.
read all of it, come to your own conclusion.
Yeah.
That's what philosophy is.
Then you make like logical arguments to support why you think what you think.
This is research thesis, man.
No, it's not.
Oh my god.
It's actually
It's
like
like
it's a
more than
different
anything.
form of understanding what's beyond the usual stuff. You know why we don't really enjoy this? It's because we're so busy doing shit all the time. We're always like doing, and then we get lost in the doing. That is our rhythm. But the other rhythm is to like sometimes to just look back and be like, what the fuck? Why?
Reflect. Oh.
Reflection.
Why?
But
Reflection.
it's. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing.
No,
I'm
it's
saying that
different ways.
it's a different
Through
it's just
doing, you meet people and you learn from people.
Yeah.
That's your style of
Okay,
doing things.
Yeah. To them, they internalize and realize like, oh, I need to figure shit out. I
Some
need to
Gandhi, Buddha,
process.
stuff going on here.
Yeah, but ours is just like, fuck, how, what's up,
We're
what,
definitely
how?
more on the introvert side, I would say, right?
Both
Extrovert
ways,
side, 100%.
both ways work.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's just different styles.
I actually tried enjoying philosophy. I took a philosophy class, and until now, I still believe that she is one of the best professors I've worked under. Her name is Professor Ruth Starkman. She's a Jewish professor, and she taught at Stanford and my school at the time.
Oh,
Yeah, and she actually like opened my eyes to philosophy as well. It's just that for me, I understood it, and I understood what it meant to a lot of people, and I understood the challenge it brought to your thinking processes. But it's just that to me, I never was able to utilize that to my own self. Maybe it's also because since I was young, I've always been a very questioning being. I always just question things. Why? Like, I literally think my most asked question
Why?
in my entire persona and life is probably the question, what do you mean? And Andrew can attest to that.
What do you mean?
Right?
Which is actually a stellar question. It's very underrated. Very, very
I
underrated.
always ask that question to dad, to mom, to you, when they give me a blatant statement, and I'm like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean? I've been always saying that. So I've always been that inquisition
But yeah, like
personality.
philosophy has just, it's made me think before I speak.
Wow.
Like for real, clearly.
I speak for them, I think.
I
Yeah, that
know.
one's like, yeah.
That one, this is a whole different podcast. us all
it's
together.
just big. You should just
Both ways work.
No.
Poigi, that one really needs to learn how to keep a lid on things.
Okay, Kapla, what about you?
Yeah, I don't know, Kap.
John, jumpstart me a little bit. What do you know about me?
Oh, what do I know about Kap?
Jumpstart.
I met Kap when I was 9.
What do I
And
know?
we were playing
I met
tennis.
Kapla at the same time, same age.
I
too,
met
right?
him
I was
at
like
6.
I was 6.
Standard 1. We stayed
Before-
at the same fucking house.
Wait,
Neighborhood
It
also.
was before that I met you
Five,
5
6,
four, 5 years
Surya,
old.
right? Taman Surya.
But to answer the whole recent question of the,
Yeah, more towards the
the
end.
graduate element of SPM, Kap has always been a person that's like, I can tell you lah, Kap is a talented person when it comes to
Competitive.
academia. Academia is probably Lashrin's like strength as a whole. Like he could pick up a book, he could even remember and understand
Holy.
the whole concept of the chapter and why they've structured the chapter that way and then and apply. That's probably his greatest strength.
Okay, I'll work from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think upon SPM of having those gifts, I'm not sure whether you understood how to carry it on. I think that's my
Yeah,
right.
that's very true. So what happened was I got 9 A's for SPM.
Fucking hell, dude.
And I think the 10th day was like,
BSP.
BM.
Yeah.
Oh, BM.
BM is tough, dude.
BM is tough.
BM is tough. You put money
No,
down.
especially if you don't see the point of it.
Yeah, no, for real. BM is exceedingly difficult.
no, I'm telling you, Kapla, Duck, Ken,
Yeah.
all these guys have this like ability to.
Satir lah, Satir.
They have the power. That's why they're Satir, man. Xiu Chun also.
Yeah.
Their absorption of knowledge is like a sponge until today.
Yeah. So that is even heightened for chemistry.
Yeah.
I read chemistry for fun during
I hate chemistry.
like Form 4, Form 5. So I got A+, no big deal. So knowing that was the only lead I got moving forward. So I thought, okay, I'm good at this. I'm gonna do something that has to do with this. So I went towards. I knew Form 4, Form 5. That's the route I'm gonna take, lah. But I mean, I knew in terms of that's just narrowing down my options. I like chemistry. I'm good at it. I'm gonna do something.
It's all Japanese
related.
method, right? You know what you like, you know what you want to do, and how you can earn money, and it's the whole.
But that's what I thought I liked at that time. So okay, I'll continue later. But I went on to do chemical engineering, and then during that time I did an internship for the boss that I'm currently working for now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
That's insane.
Full cycle, man.
Full cycle. So I did like the internship and I thought it was a good way to spend my daytime hours. So it's interesting, new problems coming all the time. It's safety and reliability. So new problems coming all the time and you gotta find solutions, recommendations, things like that. I finished my chemical engineering degree and then okay, long story short, I am working now in risk and safety. So this was all very, very structured and it was like not really much self-reflection except for that I liked.
No, there was a point in time. I remember when you came back. No, you didn't come back. You finished already.
Yeah.
But you approached me because you wanted to do something in events or some sort.
Yeah.
And I was already working at the time for MEP. But I'm not sure. No, I was a writer at the time. And you asked me like how can you earn money on the side or some shit like that, right? Because you were in that whole phase of
I was in
making-
an unemployment phase, same
Yeah.
like Andrew. So I was really desperate for a job.
Yeah.
So what John offered is just try this events thing.
No, I didn't give you a warning. I was like, this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
probably the most brutal amount of work you're ever gonna do. It's gonna be one of the most difficult bosses you're ever gonna work with, which is mom. And you know, as today, it's the same.
So what that gave for me is like a view of reality and what working life is about. You know, all this while I've been like SPM, degree, and then it's like just all checking boxes.
Yeah. Academia.
Yeah, academia, studying books and everything like that. You don't know what it means to make money.
Wow, I never thought about it that way.
No,
But
I didn't think about making money.
holy shit, you know, I actually would have been in complete comfort knowing, like, if I were you, I'd be like, my life is set, bro. Chemistry is my jam. And you know, sodium and chloride, like salt.
NaCl, bitch.
Yeah, NA and CL, boom. Seasoning and shit. I would be so confident. You know, for me, my whole time, like I made it sound like it was a very like one-track story, but you have no idea the amount of worry I had in my mind. You know, I was like, fuck, you know, I got 2 A's in SPM. You know, I only good
probably
English, I
worried
only good math. I didn't even do political study. I went the science route because of my fucking ego. You know, fuck, that shit.
No, but I worried less than you, but at the same time I was oblivious to what possibilities there are to making money. Okay.
I see where you're coming from.
So it's all like, okay, like parents say do this. My parents are quite traditional as well. It's like, oh, okay, go through this, go through
The checklist.
yeah,
Indian
checklist,
parents lah.
corporate, and then go slowly corporate ladder.
Indian parents.
Alright.
Baby boomers.
What to do, right? So okay, I went to events. Then after, at the end of the day, I ended up back in the job that I am right now, which is safety and reliability engineering. So I'm not complaining about that or anything like that, but all this while I have not found myself. Okay, I only found myself last year when I discovered psychology and personality cognition.
A valuable part of academia as well.
Yes.
So you see what I mean?
Back.
It's a personality trait thing, I can tell. I can read this shit, but yeah.
Yep. So I found a passion for it, and then started doing it. Like after work, I'll come back and just
Churn out.
read, watch videos, just absorb that shit, you know.
Damn.
So that's what got me into the writing of the book that I'm doing, and that is one of my primary goals right now. The work is now just a day job.
How did you find out about cognitive psychology?
And what was the trigger
That's a
point?
can of worms.
Yeah.
The trigger point.
Another story, I guess.
No, I think people need to know that in life there are trigger points that they know that has
This was-
fucking made them pivot, you know. Like,
There was a legit trigger point. You know, it was the breakup.
oh, it's Jackie, yeah.
It was Jackie.
Mm.
So
Jackie.
that broke me down to a pile of mush. And
Yeah.
I was struggling to get out of it. At the same time, I was very interested in what was happening to me.
Oh,
it
so
was
like-
very curious.
Introspection.
I was like introspection at the same time. So I was broken down, like because I didn't expect it at all. That's the main thing. The expectation and the caveat is really far. So what was happening was my body itself didn't know how to take it. I could sleep, but I couldn't. I could only eat half the amount I was eating.
Wow. I wish I went through that.
Strictly.
That's happened to me before as well.
Right. Right.
So
So the body takes it, but at the same time you're looking at yourself like, why is this happening? Like, it's got nothing to do with my body.
Yeah, it's only emotional, right? Like, what is it connected
It's
to?
got nothing to do with my body. So okay, it started there. Then after that, I started like this was a time where I was self-reflecting a lot.
It's lost self-reflection.
I was staying at home, taking annual leave, just stay at home, just
Wow.
wallowing,
Dude, that's the fucking.
What the fuck?
just wallowing, but wallowing with direction. It's like what is happening, trying to understand, get a grasp of what's happening.
Andrew is low key thinking about going into psychology right now.
Let's do
I'm
this.
like,
So okay, so that was what was happening, and then 3 months later, I think a lot of things happened consecutively. I started online dating. Okay, which is where I found out about the personality research.
Oh, I see.
so are you a,
From those profiles that were written online.
INFP, they always put a
Always
question
put.
there, yeah.
So at that time, I didn't know why.
Wait, are you
it was
both INFPs?
No.
what the fuck's that?
Lashun has evaluated me, I apparently.
What's INFP?
No, I'll it's a test that I actually gave Kapla long ago when
Yeah.
I
At that time, I was like, oh, brush it aside. But
yeah.
I found it again during this thing. When it came back to me, I started researching about it and what it is, what happens behind it and everything like that. Realized it was the work of Carl Jung.
Wow. That's like
And
Sigmund
after
Freud,
that,
Carl Jung.
Yep. So that brought me down a whole new rabbit hole. So I was doing it like almost every day after work.
Like reading and
Reading, exploring for almost. It's been more than a year now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been into all that shit, man. It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like,
So that's what happened to me. Advice is one advice. If I were to go back and do things again, I wouldn't do anything
different.
differently now.
right?
Watch out to have to.
Yeah, it works out, man.
I mean,
Like,
if I do something differently, I might not have found what I found today, right?
the trigger point would have been
True.
Yeah, trigger point might have been different as well. So, what chemical engineering has brought for me is the structure.
I knew you were gonna say that. I could pull it out of your mouth, the structure, and then the psychology is the whole like unstructured, if you will.
Yes, exactly. So bringing structure to the lack of structure kind
Yeah.
of thing. So
The yin and
the
yang.
process of doing chemical engineering study, you bring that into psychology, it becomes a very clear-cut, systematic kind of. It brings more.
It fulfills the natural being of a human being in a way because because your career is your structural self in a way, right? Whereas the whole psychology is the whole
freedom.
tangible, flexible method of like loosening up in a way.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Quite crazy.
Yep.
It's fucking insane.
So advice would be that okay, if you know even if you know your passion, don't do it as a degree.
Wow. Even
Why-
if
why-
you
why-
knew your passion, don't do it.
Why I say this is, if you have that passion, that means you're willing to do it after working hours,
Maybe.
Oh, that's a very valid point.
right?
Maybe.
So if you have that passion, that means you have the drive, you're willing to do it after working hours. So why do it as a day job? Okay, that's first of all. So what I'm saying is, if you, for example, like photography, right? You're passionate about photography. Don't take a degree in
Photography.
photography. Take degree in something else, something that can support
Photography.
photography.
That's
Maybe
actually pretty good, guys.
Advertising or
That's
something like
legit.
that.
That's fucking good.
That's
guys.
legit.
Something that can support your passion. But your passion you learn later on part time.
That's it's doable for sure. Like I know a lot of people who like, oh, I want to do what I love, right? And they're like, oh, I want to study event management. I want to study advertising. Oh, bro, it kills your love for it, dude. It kills it.
Yeah.
You know how much I love advertising? I used to like stay up all night watching ads. I love ads. I love American ads. You know the way Americans do ads is fucking incredible. The Super Bowl is like my cinema. I love that shit. You know how much I look forward to watching the ads before the movie starts. Like that's what I take joy in, you know. And after I did advertising, it murdered that fucking shit. Murdered me, bro. And I'm like, fuck that shit. I know the production that goes into it. I know every little thing. I know the copywriter did this because that guy said that. I know everything. I'm just fucking full of shit ad. And you never appreciate ads anymore.
Damn.
Yeah, I think like for us, especially like in our time when growing up, you are taught that you should find that one specific thing to specialize in, right? And go fucking balls deep in it.
Balls
Dump all your fucking eggs, borrow eggs and put more eggs inside the basket. Go balls deep.
Teabag.
You think you're deeper,
Just sit down.
right? Be the bucket. Like go all the way, and I think that's sort of the problem in like today's society right now. We're all grown up, right? You kind of need like a slightly broader skill set.
Enlightenment.
Yeah.
But I think if you're doing
Actually-
something hardcore like lawyer or doctor or something like that, you don't have
Yeah,
a choice
being
because
a choice,
you need the certificate
feel like saving
to
lives.
practice.
You know, my ex-boss actually gave me the advice. Like, it's now that you say that, you kind of brought that up. He said, you know what's a good idea? Taking two things that never really match, make it
Just
match.
merging. Yeah. You just merge it and you'll get something new. It'll be more than the sum of its
Yeah.
parts. It'll
Ah.
be different. It'll be a completely different direction. It brings a lot of value if you do it in the right way.
Yeah, and he's like,
Believe
just give me two things. Then I said something like robots and coconut or some shit like that. And he was like, just imagine a robot that could like cut open a coconut automatically. And I'm like, or like deliver coconuts to you, or deliver your favorite type of coconut whenever you felt like you want.
Robots in anything is just great, lah.
Right, like truth lah. But like you know, there's a point to it. I even said surfing and something else, and then he gave me another way. And he's like, it's just application of it, and then how you make it like standardized and easy for everybody. And then you got a good idea right there. Even if it's like two passions that you enjoy, there's bound to be a. And that's how social media came about, right? Like you never knew how, like you could talk to someone without talking to someone in a way,
No, exactly, yeah.
and it made it like the best shit ever.
That was part of the reason why I was so intrigued when I interviewed for Jets Curioso.
Is it?
Yeah, because you're essentially like merging shopping and travel, right? Which is like two
Ooh.
things you like.
Oh, I love how he's putting this.
Fuck is doing. I have no stake about this.
This podcast
It's brought to you by
Jets. Do what the fuck you want, lah. Yeah, yes, I found that merging interesting as well, and like a lot of people who like had this major like ACCA auditing 4 years, accounting 10 years kind of shit, and then they make their own startups. then
Yeah,
then they made
it's
they made
still
QuickBooks,
useful.
right? They created this very very applicable to layman, efficient, easy to use accounting software for everyone, for small businesses to run, right? So you're merging like the startup space and accounting, right? So it's like there's so many other things to merge, right? Like fucking Airbnb, like any marketplace essentially is a merge, right?
Anything is a potential marketplace if you think about it.
Yeah, that's why it's fucking amazing.
It's just that a lot of times, like what you all had talked about, you kind of get into that whole safe zone, right?
Comfort
Yeah,
zone.
yeah.
Like,
It's like when we're talking to. Never mind.
huh?
I'm joking.
Okay. Anyway, I think a lot of times people are afraid. Like, it's you know, like a lot. I don't know who told me this as well, or I think it was a video I watched or something I read. It's kind of like walking in the dark, and like only when you take a step forward does it light up. Sometimes you trip, which is kind of like a fall, and sometimes you take another step and it brings you to a place that you're like, wow, fuck, and you're like, oh shoot, this is the best shit ever, you know. So it's kind of like that whole schematic journey. But what would your advice be to a person that is his or her on her way journey right now? I don't know how the fuck I phrase that right, but like you get what I'm saying, right?
They're stuck in a similar path lah.
Or they are stuck in that hole. I don't really want to walk in the dark right now because currently I'm in a bright spot, and it's not that I'm not happy, but I'm not sad. Like, how do you move beyond that?
Take the leap of faith.
No.
It's easy to say that, but
Yeah.
Because I did it, so I can say that.
The first step is definitely
That's not simple lah.
like
Studying and
finding out who you are, what your passions
That's a
are.
hard shit, bro.
So that itself is a very difficult step.
Yeah.
So I would suggest introspection.
you know, Jen.
I highly recommend introspection.
I recommend
What's that?
introspection.
Introspection is internalizing. It's like reviewing yourself, like what is good, what is
I don't
bad.
have
I think like
Yeah,
basically
just reflect.
I
Just
don't have time
review
yet.
yourself. Like at the end of every day, right? Just ask yourself what you did.
journaling is a good way. Could be a very
Wow, do you do this one?
No,
I don't have time for this, man.
no.
Yeah.
But
You got no time
I
for that.
actually realized that that's a different way today. Like after this conversation, I actually learned that maybe it's your personality type that should have done that. And I don't know whether I'm supposed to say this because I don't know whether even Jen watches this all the way sometimes. But I have been trying to like tell Jen to do something she enjoys for like the past 3 years of my relationship. with her.
Coffee lah.
Huh?
Drink coffee.
No, oh my god, okay. Fuck.
Bubble tea.
No, I'm saying she should do something that she enjoys apart from a job because every time she comes back, she's like, oh, I just went to work today. And what'd you do? Oh, I.
Oh, okay.
Then, oh, what'd you have for lunch? It's such a routine, robotic thing. And I was so frustrated for her because she's always looking at me like, I'm not boasting in any way, but she's like, fuck lah, I wish I could be like you and do something creative all the time.
It is just the moment of weakness. You know, it is that moment that.
Oh, for sure, for
that,
sure.
right, like complaining is just a way
To vent.
right
in
to
a way.
vent. Essentially lah. You know, it doesn't mean anything.
What?
Sometimes
So what it means is that I don't know.
Both are correct. Because, first of all, I thought it was a one off thing. I said, just try to do something that you like.
But she don't know.
Right? Then she's like, I don't know what I like. I'm like, so just do things until you enjoy it. And
Yeah.
then she also said, nah, I don't want to do it because I don't have time. I'm like, you're talking to a person that we said 4 in the morning to run and go to the gym and shit, and then I have time to do videos and I still have time to do. Anyway, this goes on for the past 3 years, and I don't know what was her trigger point, but she actually said she started writing again. And she, you know what Jen used to do? She used to watch movies, okay, and write spin-offs for that movie. So for example, if you're watching like, I don't know, what's a popular movie, like fucking Ted, you know the bear?
Yeah.
Ted, like
Yeah.
Fucking Thunder, whoa.
Okay, looks good.
Alright,
Still
still
looks
gonna be-
okay, fine.
So for example, Jen watched Ted and she enjoyed the movie thoroughly. She's rewatched Ted like 5 times, for example.
she made a spin-off for it, right? That's
And
not-
she picks a character within Ted that is like a side character or even the main, and then creates a whole entire story for that character. Kind of like,
like Han Solo
Dude,
kind of shit lah,
fuck,
right? Like
that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's what you do. Like even if you're doing it for yourself.
did you know that she actually started doing this when she was in ADP? She was in the same program as me, she went to the US, and she had like a huge fan base in anime fanfic.com. if you all can find Jen, just fucking comment below, please.
This is actually a very common thing to do.
Yeah, and she actually was a really popular writer, and she refuses to tell me what the fuck is her username. I'm so frustrated. And like she told me, oh my god, yeah, I'm so fucking excited. She started like buying characters, you know, to fulfill the story. And her new story is kind of like a non-linear story where you make decisions and your story happens in a certain way because of your decisions.
Fuck,
That's
that's
like
impressive, man.
Like Bandersnatch on
Yeah.
Netflix, but she's
Oh,
doing it
yeah.
for her story. She buys characters, she buys the UI, and she buys everything just to put it together. And she's like, fuck man, I'm spending so much money. And last time I was having this conversation with her and I was saying like, yeah, you know how much I spend a month on my vlogs? Do you all know how much I spend a month? I'm just
on,
want
your, on your vlogs?
yeah,
1K.
on my vlogs. A month.
I mean, he goes for food reviews. That shit isn't free.
Yeah.
Not all.
I think maybe 3.5k.
And
1,000.
the camera- And the camera.
Just on camera, music, and editing for Photoshop is 300 ringgit. So that's not even including the food I pay
Your
for.
food is very expensive.
Right?
1,000 lah.
And that's not including petrol, toll, and etc. etc. But I love food so much.
Yeah.
There's this lady who told me, oh, this cucumber is really good. I was in Langkawi. I was like, you're a fucking joke, because that's zucchini. Okay, you can't tell the difference between fucking zucchini and fucking zucchini. You're disgusting.
I think I will.
I will close down the
You
shop.
there.
I close down the shop.
You know, I was disgusted by her fucking comments. But you know, this is
Was it like a high class restaurant?
Yes! And it says zucchini on the fucking menu. It's worse. Anyway, I'm sidetracking. So Jen actually found that whole joy and all that. I'm just wondering what the fuck is a pivot. But it goes to show that you know now she's been writing for like I think 3 months already, and like she's so happy right now. But you can tell, I don't know whether you can tell, but she's a lot more positive than she was before.
I don't think that.
You don't need to find a pivot
Yeah,
right
it's-
away.
It's not always like a one thing and then it's like, oh fuck, now I'm enlightened, right? Like life isn't that Hollywood-esque. You know, it's kind of progressive. It's kind of like a transition.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
slow.
Yeah.
Once
It's-
you found it, once you found it, you can take it as it comes. Just
Yeah.
keep doing it, and then like solve problems as they arise. Or you want to get to the next step, and you think about it when that step
do it.
comes.
You know, what's really good advice? I actually I heard it on Gary Vaynerchuk long ago, and he said that you know what you should do, you should record every day.
And then to receive back.
You should record every day, like a minute every day, and tell yourself and recap what the fuck you did that day.
Then you watch
But
the
that's
whole thing.
journaling lah.
And then after
Journaling
you,
lah, essentially.
yeah, no, but you gotta video it. It's
Yeah,
very
it's journaling but in a different format.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Because it's potential future like documentary shit.
That you can sell for a bunch of money.
You know what I'm saying? Like Amazon,
Memoir
Jeff
kind
Bezos
of
type
shit,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have that. If you record every day and you don't know where the fuck you're going right now, you should record it.
Just
Like
in
that's-
case you become.
So I was saying how you should record everything because it's potential future documentary type of shit for Gary Vaynerchuk. So like you never know where you're gonna be right now. If you just finished your SBM, my best advice: start recording your life and say I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now. Because that will make excellent documentary type of shit. Imagine your intro for your future movie. Fuck man, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I feel like
Wow.
I feel like
Yeah,
if it was that accessible, right? Like if I like mounted an iPad in front of the door that like to leave the house, and before I leave, you must record 1 minute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Then it's like fuck. I'm damn it. Fuck.
Fuck.
No, I just talked to the iPad for 1 minute. Then I'm like, alright, time to go.
You should do it. I actually do it now and I don't post everything I put on my vlogs. Like every time I record something, like okay, I'm doing my new house now, right? I literally went to the tiles place. I'm like, it's July 5 right now. I'm going to the tile shop. Because in the future, they're like, dude, your tiles are sick. You know why? Because I went to this tile shop. Then I pull up the video and be like, it's July 5. I went to the tile shop, right? It's so good! You should totally record everything. Totally. That's why I record what I eat. And I can remember what the fuck I ate, how I ate it.
Yeah, that's remarkable. Yeah, I mean, because if you watch it, right, it's like different.
I remember the number of Maggie Goreng sessions we had, dude. What the fuck? At Rothman's at the time. I'm just saying, dude. It's fucking incredible.
Okay, you're gonna have to sell me a little bit more on that.
You should record, not, you don't even need to be a minute. You just need to give yourself like 15 seconds. Even
Yeah,
if it's a picture that day or some shit like
True
that.
that, true that.
You know, I think like journaling, like what you mentioned, is actually really good. You just self-reflect and then you see where you are from a year from now, you're like, wasn't too bad.
Yeah, man.
I was worse last year.
It's how you can appreciate the small victories because you
Yeah.
get lost in the thick of it.
Yeah, we always like go through that whole journey and then you just go and then you wake up and you're like, fuck, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But if you held yourself accountable to things, like how when on Insta I run and I record my run, Like I'm going to run today. Everyone's like, oh, John's going to run today. But if I didn't run today, there's no Insta story from John. They're like, whoa, the fuck happened to that guy?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah, and people kind of know you for that, and then in the end, everything just works out well. That's my advice as well. On top of the earlier advice of follow your gut and follow your dreams and whatever. Right? You guys have any other advice?
Just do
I
it.
think we can end there.
Yeah.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Yeah. Just
Like, comment, subscribe.
Also, don't forget this video is probably brought to you by Maury.
Yeah, you got nothing else to advertise.
and Baskin Robbins.
Baskin Robbins 31.
Wasabi.